This is the George Hill, Rick Tyler Show. G is out today, and our guest host in command and control is a friend named Miles Thiemann. Miles, how you liking your first time sitting in George's seat here for GHRT?
I'm doing great, and I'm still awake. So.
It's more than George would be at this time.
Okay.
Oh, I'm kidding. It's just a joke. Behind the bulletproof glass, Spacious Studios 7A. From Eastern Maine Development Corporation, she gives us the business. It's Jen Brooks. Jen, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Okay,
Sun's shining.
Listeners have come to expect this, so that's why we have to do this. Although you hint to us that today it's just a little bit different, okay?
It is.
Do you want to tell us, without giving it away, can you tell us how it's different?
So normally I come in and I bring one business that we've worked with in some capacity. And today I'm actually bringing you a community that we're working with in order to work with all of the businesses in that community.
So we have to figure out what community it is and then what they're doing with, or why they're working with businesses. Is that the plan?
Yeah, well, we can tell you that part, but let's figure out what community.
Okay, we're allowed, Miles, we're allowed yes or no questions.
Okay. It's like 20 questions.
Yeah, so yes or no. Do you want to start? Okay, because you've got 3 guests with you, 2 guys and a gal. Okay.
Is the community in Penobscot County?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is the community in southern Penobscot County?
No, I'd say central, really.
Central. Okay. That wasn't a yes or no answer.
Sorry.
That was a hint.
Thanks for the assist, pal. Appreciate it.
Want me to just give it up right
No.
No.
But you can get closer to the microphone and speak up because you're not being quite loud enough.
Is the community within 15 miles of Bangor?
Yes.
Okay. Is the community 15 miles north of Bangor?
No.
So, west?
Oh, boy, they've got the compass out.
We're looking at it.
I would.
Yep.
Southwest?
Southwest.
That's not a yes or no either, you know.
No, it is. And well, you keep answering that way.
I'm easy.
You do? You want to
Well, I don't know.
I'm going to guess.
I was going to say Newport.
No.
Okay.
Is it Dover Foxcroft?
Sorry.
That wouldn't be northwest.
No, that would be Piscataquis County.
That would be See? Who needs a compass?
You need a map.
Yeah. Is it southwest? Is it
Dexter?
Dexter?
No.
Is it Corinna?
No.
Oh. Let me get a map. Bring up a map.
We are in huge.
But only 15 miles?
Oh, it's less than 15
So
miles.
it's
Less
as a
than
matter of
15
fact.
miles.
Herman.
Absolutely right.
Okay.
Now, are we truly southwest? We've got to find that out, so I didn't mislead you.
I was going to say more like 15 feet, not 15 miles.
15 minutes, yeah, at the most, to downtown Bangor from Herman. But thank you.
Okay, so you folks represent the 1, 2, 3, the leaders from the town of Herman.
Actually, I have Scott Perkins, who is with the town of Herman, but I have Jeff Whalen and Vicki Rusbolt from EMDC, who are actually working with the town.
Scott, Jeff, and Vicki?
Vicki.
We've met before, Vicki. I remember
we
that.
have.
So.
I've known Vicki a long time.
All right. So how did EMDC and Herman come to cross paths? Normally, we're used to, Jen, the story is that a business comes to EMDC and you give us a hand up, not a hand out, and we get ourselves surviving and thriving and employing people and woohoo.
I know.
But in this case...
Right. So we have programs that go beyond our business services, and we have some community development programs. And often municipalities come to us for a variety of things: comp planning, working with developing the plans for their business parks or businesses in general. And that's really how the town of Herman came to us, asking for assistance in that.
Specifically, Scott, specifically what? What were you guys trying to do that maybe EMDC could help you do?
In 2015, January actually, the town council authorized our manager, Roger Raymond, to establish an economic development committee. And we were pleased with that. We needed an advisory board from our community that was representative of a lot of the different pieces that we enjoy there, with experience in finance, real estate, property development, construction, marketing. We had school committee members, we had council members naturally, and they formed an idea through self-discovery and wanted to develop a plan. So we worked with our people internally, created a proposal, put it out in Eastern Maine Development Corps, met our needs, and won that job, and we were very grateful for that.
Tell us about some of the goals and objectives that you have, and if you've gotten some short-term wins, we'd love to hear about those.
Anybody? Any Bueller? Anybody?
I was waiting for Scott to jump in. Actually, Jeff's been going out and visiting all of the businesses in Herman, and he's actually got some great insight into what they need and what they're looking for in terms of their business growth and strategies.
Spill it, Jeff. What'd you find out?
Well, I went out to the community, and there are approximately 330 businesses in the town of Herman.
Wow.
And we spoke to right around 70 of those businesses.
Can we stop right there?
Sure.
I would not, maybe it's because I'm driving so fast when I go through Herman, but I would not think that there are would you say 330, driving at a prudent speed. There are 330 businesses in Herman?
Yes, there is.
Wow.
When you count all of our home-based businesses and the commercial and industrial sectors, there are a large number of companies in Herman.
Because when you cross that town line from Bangor into Herman, you've got what? You got 2 industrial parks.
That's correct. In
there.
fact, there's one on Colebrook Road. There's a couple parks on Hammond Street. But Jeff visited both businesses in those areas and some of the other businesses based out of their homes as well.
And what'd you find out, Jeff?
Well, I found out that the businesses in Herman are very satisfied with what's going on right now. The 2 things that businesses really look at are services and low taxes. So if you give them a low tax rate, they may be happy at first, but if you're not offering the services they need, they'll be quickly on your doorstep asking you, why isn't my snow being plowed and stuff like that. So the feedback that I've received from businesses is very positive to Herman.
We pride ourselves in being a very responsive staff. Looking at some of the information that Jeff brought back to us, we were called proactive, business friendly, and of course they love their location. And why wouldn't they? We're neighbors to Bangor, and right here, smack dab in the middle of central Maine. This is a wonderful spot to be in.
So where do you go from here?
Well, now that we're working on our plan and developing it, looking at what our challenges are is going to be critical to taking next steps. And we know that we're leaders in the transportation industry, and we have strengths in construction, and we want to continue to serve those sectors well. But we also want to diversify, because it's dangerous if you put all your eggs in one basket. So we're working on a plan that will support those supply chain businesses that we need to keep that industry sector strong for us. We're going to work on infrastructure, utility development. We're going to improve our land use plans. We're going to work on marketing, because that was another thing we heard from our businesses, was that they really want to talk about Herman, our strengths, and that includes, their position with us, because telling people who you are, what you do, your identity, all those things are very important. So we're working on that marketing idea mixed with incentive programs that forge partnerships with these between the private and the municipal world.
Vicki, from your desk, from your playbook, is Herman doing what it needs to do? And do you wish that other communities maybe took a similar strategy and got themselves on the way to success?
I think they are. I think they've come together. I mean, engagement at a grassroots level is really critical for moving a town forward and seizing on those opportunities. And I think what EMDC can do is provide some of that really deep data to show them a snapshot of where they are now, and maybe open up their eyes to show them where their opportunities may be in the future.
That was our next question. What does Herman need to do next? What's their next steps in your eyes? And by the way, if that's something that they have to pay information they have to pay you for, don't tell them. Or if you do, then send them an invoice.
I'll be sure to do that.
Okay. All right.
I'm cognizant of that.
Yep.
No, I think that I think small strides can be made. I mean, I don't think you need to think that within 6 months you're going to rule the world and you're going to answer all the problems and you're going to have this outstanding growth. It's incremental. And one of the things that we're going to be able to do is to show them with one industry that looks like it's poised for growth and expansion, and that's do an impact analysis to show them what's the impact going to be to the town of Herman by adding 5 new jobs to a business at a particular scale. what will the earnings impact be overall? What it's the impact going to be on the supply chain, the restaurants, the housing and transportation and things of that nature. And I think if you can show the community what those small incremental wins can be and with the impact that they can have, I think they can wrap their arms around that, and they can all get around the idea of let's start growing and let's start expanding and let's attract more businesses and have a unified front.
She's absolutely right. And one of the reasons that we are doing the plan is because Herman has experienced such large growth over the last 10 years. We're probably, per capita, one of the fastest growing communities in the state of Maine at an average of 100 new residents annually. And so when it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you look at us and we're only 5,700 people, and the state planning office shows us growing, until 2032 at a rate of 31%, that's an amazing amount of growth that we have to handle both residentially and for our business sector. So,
guest co-host Miles Thiemann.
So Jeff, when you went out and talked to folks, it was a love fest, as you said. But what did companies tell you that the town could do for them to help them grow and sustain their organizations?
I think one of the things that was made clear to me was that Herman can probably do a better job of marketing sort of the assets they have, the location to an urban center like Bangor, the access to 95, the air and rail that they have. There's a lot of assets out there that they can be promoting, and they're extremely low tax rates, where if businesses are listening now, they have low tax rates and they have great services. So I think businesses, they have minor issues. You want to put a stop sign here, a red light here, but mostly they think that marketing Herman and the growth that they're seeing is where they want to see Herman go in the future.
We just run those red lights and stop signs anyway, so don't worry about putting more of those when we're speeding through. But right now, East Millinockett's listening. Right now, Millinockett's listening. Right now, Lincoln is listening, and they're thinking, yeah, I'd love to be a Herman, but right now I've got an industry, I've got a base that has just fallen through the floor. Do I still call EMDC?
Well, I think one of the
you
things that we can do to help them kind of see through the fog is start discovering those little gems that could potentially grow and could be their next industry that could help the town kind of revitalize. And sometimes it's hard to recognize those when you're living there. And so I think what EMDC can do is we can go through those weeds and show you the data. Sometimes you make perceptions and it's not really based on data. So I think that there's a lot to be said to have an independent party come in and do this market analysis and kind of show you those information pieces.
You just sold me on that, Vicki.
Yeah, Vicki, the bookshelves around the state are filled with reports.
Oh, I knew you were going to say this, Miles.
Blue ribbons.
So how do you turn those into an action plan and execute and really get some wins out of it?
Well, I think that we've been showing with our Reengineering the Region project over the last 2 years that you can do more than develop a report and put it in a file cabinet and then forget about it and say, oh, remember when we did that 10 years ago? We already have done that. We use that as like a Bible, and we reference that and refer to that and build on that and go back and say, here's what we learned. Communication is key, and bringing people together and engaging people into conversations on an ongoing basis is critical to keep that alive.
Scott, you keep this up, you're going to need your own zip code.
These people are great. They've been great help to us, and she's absolutely right about building consensus and bringing people in. It's been exciting to manage with the help we've had, and especially our committee in Herman and East Maine Development Corps has been fantastic.
Jeff, what's the next Herman on your radar?
Well, speaking of zip codes, Herman businesses have mentioned they want their own zip code.
See that? That makes sense. Well,
one of the things I'd like to mention, Rick, is that we often bring businesses in here and we talk about how many resources are out there for businesses and that they don't actually know that there's support out there. So part of our job is meeting with businesses, whether they're in Herman or Millinocket or East Millinocket, Lincoln, anywhere around in our region, and making sure that they're aware of the services that are out there to assist them.
Scott, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
We'll come to Herman for more than just the Chester fried chicken.
Oh, great.
And we answered the 20. We got it in 5 questions, by the way.
5.
That's
right?
kind of a record.